In the heart of the ancient forest stood a tree unlike any other. A massive oak with bark that shimmered like silver and roots that whispered secrets of centuries past. But on this fateful night, something extraordinary was about to happen. The tree, which had spoken only to the wind, would choose an heir, and the fate of the forest would rest in their hands. Long ago, in a quiet village nestled on the edge of the forest, the people spoke in hushed tones about the talking tree. Its existence was a secret known only to a few. The tree had been there for centuries, and it was said that whoever was chosen as its heir would gain the wisdom of the forest and the power to protect the land from harm. But the tree's gift came with a price, an unknown burden that had kept the village in suspense for generations. Among the villagers, there were 3 young people who were destined to hear the tree's call. Aric, a brave but reckless woodsman. Lyra, a gentle healer with a deep connection to nature. And Cael, a curious scholar who loved the mysteries of the world. Each had heard the whispers of the tree in their dreams, and each believed that they were the one chosen. Aric had always felt at home in the forest. The rustling leaves, the chirping birds, and the scent of pine were all he had known since childhood. He spent his days chopping wood and hunting, never straying far from the village. But lately, something had been different. The air felt charged, as though the forest itself was watching him. It was the call of the talking tree. He knew it deep in his bones. One evening, as the sun began to set, Aric ventured deeper into the woods than he ever had before. His axes hung loosely in his hand, his mind consumed by the strange pull of the tree. As he walked, the forest seemed to come alive around him. The leaves whispered, the ground hummed, and the air thickened with magic. Finally, he reached the clearing where the tree stood. It towered above him, its branches stretching wide, as though to embrace the heavens. The bark shimmered in the fading light, and a deep voice echoed in his mind. Aric, brave but headstrong, come closer. The time has come. Aric stepped forward, his heart pounding. The tree's presence was overwhelming, yet strangely comforting. He knelt at its base, waiting for the tree to speak again. What is it that you seek? The tree asked, its voice like the rustling of leaves. I seek to protect this forest, Aric said, his voice filled with determination, to preserve its power and strength. The tree paused. Aric held his breath. The air felt heavy with expectation. Then the tree's voice came again. Your heart is strong, but your actions are often rash. The forest requires patience, not haste. You must learn to listen before acting. Aric's heart sank. He had always believed that his strength would be enough, but the tree had other ideas. He stood, disheartened, and turned to leave. But just as he reached the edge of the clearing, the tree spoke once more. Do not be so quick to turn away. Your journey has just begun. Lyra had always been in tune with the world around her. Her days were spent gathering herbs, healing the sick, and speaking to the creatures of the forest. She had never been drawn to power, but she had always felt the call of the talking tree. It was a soft whisper, like the wind in the trees, urging her to come closer. One moonlit night, Lyra found herself walking towards the forest. The air was cool, and the stars shone brightly above. She had no plan, only the pull of something greater than herself. She reached the clearing where the talking tree stood, its massive form illuminated by the moonlight. As she approached, the tree's voice filled her mind, gentle but firm. Lyra, healer of the land, the forest has need of you. Lyra knelt at the base of the tree, feeling its ancient wisdom surround her. What do you ask of me? She whispered. You possess the gift of compassion, but the forest requires more than just healing. It needs someone who understands the balance between all things. The power you seek lies not in curing wounds, but in preserving the harmony of life. Lyra closed her eyes, her heart heavy with the weight of the tree's words. She had always believed that healing was the greatest gift, but now she realized that there was a deeper calling, one that required more than her gentle touch. The tree's voice echoed in her mind again. You must learn to balance life and death, creation and destruction. Only then will you be ready. Lyra stood slowly, feeling the magnitude of the task before her. She had a long road ahead, but she knew that the tree had chosen her for a reason. Cael was different from the others. He had never felt the same connection to the forest, nor did he seek the power of the talking tree. His mind was his greatest tool, and he was content to study the world through books and ancient scrolls. But even Cael could not ignore the strange pull of the forest, and one evening, driven by curiosity, he ventured out. As he entered the clearing, he saw the talking tree, its bark glowing softly in the twilight. The tree's voice reached him, not in words, but in images, visions of the past, the present, and the future. The tree showed him the rise and fall of kingdoms, the shifting of seasons, and the eternal dance of nature. Cael, seeker of knowledge, you have come to understand the mysteries of the world. But there is one mystery you must face now, the future of the forest. Cael's heart raced as he approached the tree. What must I do? He asked, his voice trembling with excitement and fear. You must look beyond knowledge. Wisdom lies not just in what is known, but in what remains hidden. The true power of the forest is not in its magic, but in its ability to grow and change. You must help the forest evolve, not just preserve it. Cael's mind whirred with the possibilities. He had always sought knowledge, but now he realized that true understanding required him to look deeper, to see not just the world as it was, but as it could be. The three young people stood before the tree, each one waiting for the final decision. The air was thick with anticipation. The tree had spoken to them all, but who would it choose as its heir? The tree's voice rang out, clear and strong. Each of you has been tested. Aric, you have the strength of a lion, but you must learn to temper your fire. Lyra, your heart is pure, but you must understand the weight of life and death. Cael, your mind is sharp, but you must learn that true wisdom comes not from books, but from experience. The tree paused, and the three of them held their breath. But none of you can do this alone. The future of the forest lies in your unity. Together, you will be the heirs of the forest's legacy, one of strength, compassion, and wisdom. The power of the talking tree will pass into all of you, but only when you work together. The tree's bark shimmered, and its branches stretched high into the night sky, as if reaching for the stars. From that day forward, Aric, Lyra, and Cael worked together, each bringing their unique gifts to the task. Aric learned patience, Lyra learned the balance of life, and Cael discovered that wisdom could only be found through action. Together, they became the guardians of the forest, and the talking tree's secret was no longer a mystery. It was a legacy, passed down to those who understood the true meaning of harmony. And so, the forest thrived, its ancient magic protected by the heirs who had earned the tree's trust. The whispers of the leaves continued, but now they spoke not just to the wind, but to the three chosen ones, who had become the heart of the forest itself. As the tree's voice faded into the night, a new secret was born, one that would guide the heirs for generations to come. But the question remained, what new challenges would arise, and who would be ready to face them?